and welcome to another session of Woman to Woman, where the goal is to empower, inspire, and support our fellow women in business. Today, I've got the lovely Dora with me, and she's going to be sharing with us 5 simple accounting and finance tips that will help you manage your business. So I'm going to let Dora introduce herself and go straight into it. And so the floor is yours.
Thank you, Haydawn, and good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello, all the women out there, all the amazing women. My name is Dora Ngoma, and I'm a chartered accountant. So I run my own business called Grace Certified Accountant, and I've been in the business since 2018. But as you heard, I've been an accountant or in the accounting profession 24 years. I was brought up by my maternal grandma who had a bakery business, and this is just a little bit about me. And so I've been around numbers and finances from a very young age, but it's not really what I wanted to do, accounting. I wanted to do engineering, but then somehow I ended up in accounting and I loved it. And in 2017, I was involved in a car accident, so I couldn't work, in my normal job. It was so demanding, and that was one of the reasons I decided to start my own business, because then I could, work in my own way, my own time, and be my own boss and things like that, which has been amazing. And just to go out there and help, other women in business, just like my grandmother did. She was such an inspiration. And yeah, so that is a little bit about me, and 24 years in accounting. And
that's a lot of years. That's a lot of years.
It is, isn't it? I don't look it, but yeah, it is.
So you guys know you can trust what she's saying. She's got the experience. So Dora, if you want to share your tips with us, I'm ready to take some notes.
Awesome. Okay, so I prepared just 5 simple accounting and finance tips for the woman in business. We are very busy women. We've got households to run, we've got children, we've got husbands, we've got so many things, to multitask. And so these simple tips is just to keep your business going. One thing I have to say is that, you've got this, because, it's not easy being a woman in business, because you've got all these other things that you have to think about. Sure. So well done you for running your own business or being in partnership with somebody else in a business, because it's not easy, but you got this. So my 5 tips are, the first one is keep detailed records. What I mean by that is that, you are running a business, you will, need to buy things for your business. So expenses, they're very, very key, because that is what is going to help in lowering your tax bill at the end of the day. So keep electronic records. So what I would advise is that, nowadays there's, mobile apps that you can use your phone, take pictures, because a paper copy, like this, is gonna fade, and then you lose the details. So just keep electronic records and keep detailed records, because as a business person, one of your responsibilities is to keep records for 6 years. So if the taxman come knocking, whatever, they will just say, can you show us evidence of this or that? So it's really, really good idea to keep electronic records, and just keep all this expenditure that you spend in your business, just keep it nice and safe somewhere. Yeah. So that is my first tip. And the second tip is keep a separate, bank account for your business transactions. It's very easy to just be tempted to use the same bank account for, for your business transaction as well as your personal transactions, but always keep separate business account for your business transactions. And it would even be better if you keep, the bank account is in the business name. So even if you might have a spare account sitting around somewhere, don't be tempted to use that. It's better to open a business account in the business name, for the purposes of the business transactions. Why do I say that? Because sometimes when you are, looking for finance, they will be looking to say, what bank account do you have? And when they see the name of the business on the bank account, it gives them assurance. So the lenders, they get assurance that, okay, this is a proper legit business, and your chances of getting that funding goes higher. So keep separate bank account for your business transactions. And also it just helps, whenever you're doing an audit or whenever you're doing bank reconciliations, you don't have to take the shopping for Tesco or Morrison's or this and that for football, if you've got children paying for swimming lessons and stuff. So it just makes your life so much easy because you don't want to get overwhelmed. Numbers can be a bit overwhelming. So
Yeah.
when you know that on your bank statement, all that is there are your business transactions, it makes life so much easy when you want to double check what your ins and your outgoings are. So keep a separate bank account for your sales and your purchases for the business.
Okay, I've got a
And
question
also,
now.
oh, yeah, go ahead.
I know some business bank accounts come with charges, so you pay monthly for that account. And when you're starting out in business, sometimes that expenditure is not something that you need. So what would you suggest to someone that, they want to have a business bank account, but not necessarily, in a position to pay out monthly for something like that? What would you suggest?
Shop around. I mean, there are banks out there that, because they want to attract customers, they actually offer free bank accounts for at least like 18 months. Some are even doing 24 months. So shop around, check all the banks on the high street. They are giving, they are giving like free periods because they understand that you're a startup. And yes, as you rightly said, you don't want to be spending what you don't need when you're just starting out. So if you don't need to spend it, cut it off. So yeah, if you can avoid, just shop around and find business bank accounts that come free for at least 18 months, 24 months. Some of them even offer free accounting software. Again, that would be something that would be, a money saver because you don't want to go buying software. I'll touch on that in a minute, just as you are starting out.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And just on the bank account is, I just wanted to say that don't be tempted to transfer money to family, friends, your children's football, swimming, or whatever, directly from the bank account, because that becomes very confusing. It will confuse you as well, because the only transactions that should be on the bank account should be payments to suppliers or payments to employees, if you've got any employees, or if it's money in, it's money coming into your business from your sales. That way it makes it very easy and very transparent for yourself, and it makes life easy for you when you're actually just going through your bank statement. And the third point is focus on customer service. So provide a great service. Yes, you're running your small business, you're running a household, you've got kids or you've got family, friends and stuff, but you're already running a small business, you are the marketing manager, you are the sales, you are the finance manager, but what I would advise is focus on customer service, providing a great customer service. So you are an expert in what you do. Yeah. So if you can focus on that, and then maybe look for other experts in the other areas where you're not so much of an expert, because the danger is, yes, you are thinking about saving money, but then it might end up costing you more because you would have made mistakes in the areas where you're not so much of an expert. For example, like in accounting and finance area of things, or if you're not really a social media geek, maybe look for a social media expert or an accountant, or depending on whatever your business does. It's better to just focus on what you do best, and then if you can outsource or hire an expert, or try and do that, because it might seem like you're spending money, but it will actually bring in more money and save you correcting costly mistakes.
Yeah.
And the fourth tip is that cut your business costs. So like I said, if you don't need to spend on it, it's better to keep the money in the bank account. It's better to just really watch where you are spending money. Keep an eye on your expenses, because the expenses are what are going to help to lower your tax bill. So in your business, you will have earned money from your sales, and then you need to take out all the allowable expenses. So anything that you spend on your business, for your business, in order to generate more business, that is an allowable expense. Keep an eye out on what you're spending. If you don't need to, spend or buy it, don't buy it. Shop around for a free bank account where they don't charge you any fees, things like that. Just try and be savvy and just keep an eye out on your expenses, because you will be happy when you see that, oh, your tax bill is just like pennies, because every penny counts. So when you cut down or watch your expenses, then that helps to lower your tax bill. And one way of doing so is having an online accounting software, it is, yes, easy to get Excel spreadsheet and everything. But the thing is with Excel, you are only, what you get is what you put in, or your Excel will only be as good as your knowledge of Excel. When you have an electronic or online accounting software, you get reports. So how much did I spend in August? There is, all the numbers are there, and then you can make informed decisions. So I would advise, look around for an online accounting software. There is so many out there, and quite a few of them are free. So why not look around for the free online accounting software, and those will help you to see where your expenses are, where you're spending the most. Then you can cut down. You can, because sometimes we spend and you don't even realize until someone points it out. And you say, oh my goodness, I didn't even know I was paying for that. So look around, and like I said, take photos of your receipt. So it's better because, like I said, ink will fade, but when it's electronic, it will stay pristine forever. So keep an online receipt. Finally, you've got this. You're a woman in business. From one woman in business to all of you out there, I'm a mother of 4. With the youngest being 7-month-old baby, and I run my own business. And yes, it's not a walk in the park, but you see, I'm so proud. And if you have any children, I like to say running your own business is like another baby. Yes, it's hard, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it, just like children or loved ones, So you've got this. But one thing I'd like to say or advise you on is keep a healthy balance. At the end of the day, no one goes to their grave, or 20 years from now, you're not gonna stand there and look back and say, oh gosh, I wish I'd spent more time in the office, or I wish I'd spent more time in the business. Our regret is, I wish I spent more time doing the things that I love, being with the people that I love, hobbies and things like that. So have a healthy balance. Don't sacrifice your family, your children, your hobbies, your mental health and your physical health for the sake of the business. Just have that healthy balance. And I just wanted to say that from one mom and who's an entrepreneur, a business owner, to all of you out there, you got this.
You got this. It needs to be said. We've definitely got this. I agree with that 100%. It's all about balance, but the main thing is for us to know that there are other women out there. We're all going through it together, and this is why we have this, our lovely little community here. So thank you so much for those tips. I've definitely made some notes. I hope you guys have as well. Dora, if you let our audience know how they can keep in touch with you, and if they wanted to use your services, how they can reach out and where we can find you.
Oh, absolutely. If you just go on Facebook, Grace Certified Accountants, just type in Grace Certified Accountants and also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. If you just type in my name, Dora Ngoma, everything will come up. And our email is dora@gracecertifiedaccountants.co.uk. We are everywhere on social media. On YouTube is Grace Certified Accountants. So just type in Grace Certified Accountants and all our contact details will come up on YouTube as well. And I'd love, yes, to be able to speak to you and just help you, because that is my passion, to uplift other women. And in this area of finance, it can be daunting, it can be scary, especially when you're starting out in the first couple of years. It's like, oh, I don't want to, make the taxman unhappy. I don't want to do anything wrong. So can you help me? So if you need any advice, just reach out and I'll be happy to have, a 15-minute chat with you and just help you out.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much, Dora. So if you guys follow and support Dora, keep in touch. And I will see you guys at the next episode of Woman to Woman. Until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.